Good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. It's Thursday, the 13th of March, 2025, a very chilly Nairobi morning, and I welcome you today to the Performance Management Reimagined webinar, whereby we're going to talk about building a culture of continuous improvement. And we are honored, very, very honored here at Seamless HR to have the facilitator, who is Christine Mkoya, Regional Manager, People and Talent Development at PKF East Africa. As we start, I just want to do a very, very short introduction of who Christine is. So I'm going to read her bio, very, very, very enriching. So Christine Omokoya is a seasoned human resource professional with a passion of driving organizational success through strategic people and talent development. As a regional manager for people and talent at a leading advisory firm, she oversees HR strategy, talent policies, and employee welfare for a workforce of over 700 employees across East Africa. With extensive experience in human capital management, Christine has a track record of delivering transformative HR solutions. Before stepping into the regional leadership role, she served as HR consulting manager, partner with public, private, and non-governmental organizations to design and implement workforce solutions, which include organization structure reviews, job evaluations, skills audits, salary structures, policy formulation, training programs, and recruitment strategies. Christine also has experience in the manufacturing environment, where she gained hands-on experience in people management. Armed with a Master of Science in Human Resource Development and a Bachelor of Education, she is committed to shaping the future of work by fostering talents, enhancing employee engagement, and driving sustainable HR strategies. And we're very, very honored here at Seamless HR to have Christine Omokoya. Over to you, Christine. Karibu sana, and so many guests have joined the webinar, and we're all looking forward to your enriching experience. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Oscar. When you were reading my bio, I was like, is that really me? Or he's talking about someone else? Thank you. I'm really honored to be here. I'll proceed to share my screen so we can have this wonderful conversation that is long overdue, if you asked me. Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you everyone for attending today's webinar. We are going to have a wonderful conversation, which is very necessary for all of us. I'm from PKF, and the first question everyone asks is, what does PKF stand for? It's the surname of our founders, Panel, Care, and Foster, and we are in Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, Rwanda, and South Sudan. We offer audit services, consulting, tax advisory, tax compliance, business process outsourcing, secretarial services. You can visit our website and get to know us. We are a global firm. We're in 150 countries. So to kick off today's conversation, I always like to start with an icebreaker, and I really hope you guys will participate and give your views as much as possible. It's about this lady called Stella, and Stella is in the customer service department. And at the beginning of the year, her head of department identified respect as the leading organizational value all the staff in the department should inculcate in order to enhance customer service experience. So Stella has exhibited this organizational value all year round, especially towards her clients and towards her colleagues. And she scored highly in her media appraisals in the month of June. However, there is one incident in October when she insulted the tea lady, or the beverage assistant, as some of you call them. And this is after the tea lady broke her favorite mug in the kitchen sink. And it's now the end of year appraisal, and appraisals are due again. What rating do you think the head of department should give Stella against this particular goal of respect? Did she A, exceed expectations, B, partially meet expectations, C, she did not meet expectations? Remember, throughout the year, she was respectful to colleagues and to clients and to everyone. And then in October, this craziness happened. And, now the tea lady broke her cup and she went ballistic. Performance management is very tricky. Oscar, I see you thinking very hard, because I know some of these dilemmas, we don't talk about them, but they happen.
And I like that example. There's quite a lot of feedback you're also getting from the chat. So I don't know if I'm supposed to also vote as well, but I'll go
You
to.
can tell me your own views and tell me what people in the chat think.
We have a majority of people saying A, that Stella's performance exceeded expectation. So probably other people will want to know why, and she actually insulted the tea lady.
The tea girl.
We also
Okay.
have we also have quite a number of Bs as well.
Yeah.
People think it's partial as well. Others are
Yeah.
saying outright no. She
No
did
way.
the culture. So it varies from A, B, and C as well.
You see how diverse the responses are, tells you the dilemma we are in with this performance management thing. It's a very subjective and sometimes very controversial process, Yeah, because one person and different people are having different opinions. But that's why I wanted to start the conversation. There are no right or wrong answers in adult learning, so don't expect me to say A is right or B is right. But we learn together because I wanted us to start the conversation by understanding what is ailing performance management. And Stella's case is a typical one. I'll start with the halo and horns effect. You know, halo, the golden ring associated with angels, then the horns with the devils. And this happens a lot, like in Stella's case, where there's cognitive bias. Just one thing you do, one mistake, one negative or positive trait, it overshadows the entire evaluation. And then now it's like, oh, she's bad. She insulted the tiger, she's bad. Or one person just messes up the whole year and then in November they do something spectacular. Oh, he's so good. So that's one thing that's really ailing our performance management process. The other one is drama triangle. Drama, drama, drama. A lot of organizations are facing drama in some departments. And this one has three dysfunctional personalities that keep changing roles. There's the victim. Oh, I'm always being picked on. Oh, blah, blah. Then there's the persecutor. It's your fault. It's your fault. It's your fault. And then there's the rescuer. This guy is like an ambulance. Let me fix things. He wants to take glory. And then they keep changing, switching up roles. And the blame culture, there's no accountability. Then you're called in as HR, sit in that appraisal. You start feeling traumatized. You're like, where do you start? Where do you even start? Then we have the reluctant leader syndrome. We are having a generation of people, Gen Z, who have a different way of viewing things. One young guy told me 2 weeks ago, I know I'm up for management. I want nothing to do with management. I asked him why. He said the previous job holder always looked stressed, confused. I don't know. I don't like stress. I'm a happy person. I mean, now this reluctant leader syndrome is affecting our appraisals because we have been trained as HR to incentivize leadership. If you work hard to become a manager, and now people are telling you, I don't want to be a manager. Now they've created a bottleneck even for the guys below. And in some cases, it's the manager who has reluctant leader syndrome. He's like, I don't feel like appraising people, It's ailing our performance management processes. Then we have the tall poppy syndrome, poppies grow in Europe. They are red cornflower. They are corn-shaped flowers, yeah, and they look like a red carpet, and they look very nice. But when one poppy is popping out, it's cut to size so that that aesthetic of carpet is maintained. Now, in some of our organizations, the tall poppy syndrome is especially when I was in consultancy, public sector. If we have guys from public sector, I feel you guys. If you try to, if you're perceived to be doing well or shooting up, you're cut to size. The old guard are like, wait, you found us here and you're going to leave us here, So they cut you to size. So your appraisal results are predetermined even before the appraisal starts. And it's very traumatizing. Then we have the queen bee syndrome. Just like the queen in the bee colony, she's special. She lives 5 years longer than everyone. She lays eggs. Now, some people have the queen bee syndrome. They don't want their junior staff to outshine them. So they'll sabotage you. They'll take glory for your work. It's like an army captain who's shooting down his soldiers in the middle of the warfare. So it's like your appraisal results are predetermined even before the appraisal, because the queen bee is like, I'm the queen, everyone must bow down to me. So you guys are nothing, whether you met expectations or not. Then we have the old boys club. Now, the old boys club is also affecting so many of our organizations. You find this terminology came from the British elite when they used to attend those prestigious public schools, And then the alumni would call themselves old boys. They'll form a club. Now in our companies, we have them untouchables, gatekeepers to the centers of power. They don't allow anyone to go up. You have to pass through me. I'm in the boys club. And very interesting, Oscar, in one organization, I found the tea lady was in the old boys club because she had access to the big boys. When she's serving tea, she's on first name basis. And those staff told me, you know something, if you want to be promoted here, you must be in good terms with the tea girl. So Stella would have been fired a long time ago. Yeah, but these are just many, many ailments. I mean, guys, you can also comment in the chat if they're relatable. If there are others I've left out, there's a lot of things ailing performance management. Yeah.
Okay. Just a question, and I like where this is going, and not to interrupt your flow. Will it have been different if the Tigal is the one who was insulting the boss?
No.
The same thing. It happens the same way.
Yeah, but I'm sure the punishment would be worse. You know how it is. Let's be honest, Oscar. We know how there's hierarchy. There's hierarchy in our like. How can she? How dare she?
Yes.
But everyone should be treated equal. No one is above the other. So it's controversial. This performance management remains controversial. Anyway, we are not here to dwell on the ailments. Let's dwell on the solutions. Yeah. And one solution is shifting our appraisal process. If you notice, the ailments I talked about, they're coming up because we are only reviewing our stuff maybe once or twice a year. Because you switch off, then you switch on again in June, then again in December, you switch on again, switch off. This feedback that is once a year, it's too little, too late. Achievements should be celebrated in real time. If there are challenges, they should be discussed in real time. Goal setting should be agile. Business is changing. So we need to shift to continuous performance improvement. We need to shift to, that era where we're able to have continuous discussions. And there are some ways you can do it. One of them is on-the-job check-in or evaluations. This is especially for client-facing organizations. Like here in PKF, we are a client-facing organization. And you could find a staff is handling 20 clients. Now December, the manager is like, now you remember in January with the client, I don't know who you did what. The guy is like, who, what? I don't even remember. So we changed to on-the-job evaluations and check-in. So after every client, check-in. After every client, so you correct things as you go. And colleagues, you have to keep it practical. You have to agree on the nature. Will it be verbal? Will it be structured? Will you use a digital tracking system like the one Seamless offers people? Just to maintain consistency. Then also real-time feedback. You'll be surprised how feedback is like gold in some organizations. And the feedback should be conversational, not fault finding. The goal setting should be agile. Times are changing, market is changing. Be adaptable to the shifts in the market. You find a production guy whose goal was maybe they're producing plastic bags, and his goal was to produce a certain number of units. Then the government wakes up. You know how our government is. We have banned plastic bags. And then you're still asking the guy in December, why didn't you finish your units? I mean, come on. You need to be agile. You need to have a collaborative approach to this thing. Coaching and mentorship. If you don't have coaching and mentorship, you will not know what's going on with your staff. And therefore, they will not improve. Coaching and mentorship provides a good avenue for you to have those conversations that are very necessary to fix issues, to give the feedback, and to make sure that people are working together and people who need help are getting help. And then look for live performance insights, real-time performance tracking. You don't want errors to accumulate. Look for systems such as the one Seamless HR offers so that you can have a real-time tracking of things as they go along. That way you'll be able to correct any issues that are coming up. Another thing you can do, HR metrics and analytics. My people in HR, I don't know why you fear data so much. We are told that without data, yours is just another opinion in the room. It's time for us to actually have data to back up these issues that we keep raising. So and so is not performing, meeting expectations. And for me, the metrics I recommend for performance monitoring, productivity engagement, employee engagement, and goal attainment metrics. For productivity, if you have a timesheet-based system like us we do, it is easy for you to measure productivity of your staff month to month, and you will know who is struggling, who is taking time to complete their tasks, billable versus non-billable hours. Our CEO always tells us, we sell time here, so let us be cautious how we treat time. Employee engagement metrics, pulse surveys, short surveys frequently. We have mood meters here in PKF where we ask you, what's your mood? And what can we do to make it better? You'll be surprised. You know, we have a baby crash, and the baby crash was because of some feedback we got from the mood meter. Because some mothers were like, I miss my baby, that's my mood. We're like, let's come up with a crash and a nanny so that those moms who want to come with their babies, at least they are able to, so performance goes up, Then goal attainment. You need to monitor your strategic objectives implementation rate, because these goals are cascaded downwards. And once they're cascaded downwards, the staff are able to pick on them and move with them. So if they're not being monitored, how do you expect to put the staff to task at the end of the year? And then there's the regional dynamics. If your job or your company is regional, look into economic and labor dynamics. We have a talent oversupply in East Africa right now, and some organizations are relaxed. They're like, even if you don't perform, you'll go, I'll replace you. So they don't invest in developing their staff. So their metrics are, they're punitive. We're also operating under VUCA business framework. VUCA, volatile, uncertain, complex, ambiguous. So much is changing. Technology is changing. Don't set metrics for technology. And different countries are having different technology issues. Yeah, you need to agile. You need to be agile. That's basically what it is. And the other thing is learning. The Henry Ford, the vehicle manufacturing guru, he said one thing. The only thing that is worse than training your staff and they leave is not training them and they stay. You don't train them and they stay. That's an organization with very low performance output. So learning and development is the fuel that drives continuous performance improvement. And it doesn't have to be complex. I always tell people, just use the 5 wives and 1 husband approach. This has nothing to do with polygamy. It's just a methodology. The 5 W's and the 1 H. Who are these employees who need learning interventions? What are the learning objectives that you need to enhance performance? When is the learning required to take place? Where will the resources come from? Why are these learning and development programs necessary? How will the learning impact continuous performance improvement? Once you sit down and figure this out at the beginning of the year, then you start to realize continuous performance improvement interventions. And, I always charge HR leaders. HR leaders, we are really at the spotlight of people issues. And if you want continuous performance improvement, you need to shift the mentality of staff. Staff fear appraisals. Staff don't like appraisals. Staff think appraisal is a punitive exercise. How about we change by including a winning mentality in our staff? How about we shift their mindset to focus on determination, resilience, and unwavering focus? Train the teams to see the big picture. Then they will look forward to appraisal. The story which is told of JFK when he went to visit NASA, the headquarters for the astronauts. He found a cleaner cleaning, busy cleaning. He's like, good job, man. You've done a very good cleaning job. He said, thank you, Mr. President, but allow me to correct you. I'm not cleaning. I am here to send a man to the moon. He understood, even at his level, he saw the big picture. That's a guy, if you put him in there for appraisal, my God, you'll be fascinated by the things he'll tell you. Foster a fail and learn culture, recognize reward, effort, shift staff from blame culture. Blame games. Accountability is important. Reinforce a winning culture together. But some precautions I must give you as you push for continuous performance improvement. Beware of outdated performance. Some organizations, we have a Peter himself who met the target 5 years ago. That's the reference point eternally. If you are not like Peter, you've created a false sense of security. Even this Peter guy thinks he's the benchmark for everything. Continuous performance improvement means challenging staff to do better. Don't create also achievement addicts. Staff who are obsessed with success, and at the compromise of their well-being. So we were told to improve continuously. So I'm on this thing, until the staff has mental breakdown. And then, of course, don't flog the dead horse. This one has been trending on LinkedIn the past few months. If the strategy is not working, change it. If the performance methodology is not working, change it. And remember, time and chance happens to everyone. Leaders in this forum, let's not write off people. Let's not write off people very quickly. The continuous performance improvement gives you an opportunity to give people time and to give them a chance to prove themselves, to improve. It gives them a chance for second chances. Don't be dismissive. They say time and chance are the twin offspring of destiny, and we all have destiny. Even that staff in your office, that cleaner, that tea. And because you have destiny, you need time and chance so that you can accomplish and meet those goals and achieve them. So as we incubate our talent pipeline, please let us shift our mindset to a more continuous performance improvement. Let us have the check-ins very regularly. Feedback, let's use the sandwich method, positive energy first, then you bring out the issues to be addressed, then you end with positive energy. Let us be agile in our goal settings. If you don't have coaching and mentorship programs, consider them. They will help you to continuously improve. And live performance insights, get in touch with people like Seamless and see whether they can give you a system where you can monitor performance live. We are in the digital era, real time. Oscar, up to there, are we good?
We are very good, and I wish you could see the comments that are coming on the chat. Everyone is just saying, wow. Personally, I like that phrase that I'm not just a cleaner, I'm sending somebody to the moon. Meaning that I'm part of a bigger thing. It's just that not what I'm doing currently, but the bigger organization goal is embedded in me as well.
Exactly. More of us need to inculcate that in ours. They get so excited when they know the whole vision. But many organizations, the strategic paper is kept in the corner office. And it's only unleashed after 5 years and dusted off, and then they start checking which goals were we supposed to achieve. No. It's a live document.
Okay. Thank you very much. So we are now at Q&A. So I see quite a lot of people here. Tobias, Prudence, Mohadili. We have Christine here. Please take advantage of this and ask questions. And I have the first one, Christine. Someone is asking, what are the best practices for aligning individual goals with organizational objectives? So I joined the organization. I have my own individual goals. Then how do I align that with the wider organizational objectives?
Yeah. There are so many ways we can do this. I know people talk of balanced scorecard and all these other approaches, but ideally, these goals should be cascaded one hierarchy to the next. So the goals are set, then heads of departments sit down, the goals are assigned to them, and then each head of department is then required to break down those goals into their department. Like Stella's department, where respect was cascaded downwards all the way to the last man standing. So these goals are then cascaded at that level. Supervisors are then told, you need to break down, make them micro to the next level until the last man, the cleaner, understands that we are going to the moon. Yeah. So if you just sit with them in the boardroom, these goals, and you don't cascade them, you will not have success. The strategy paper is not for the CEO to achieve. It's for each one of us to join in the conversation. Yeah, but there are tools you can use. There's balanced scorecard. I just don't want to go into details because it then becomes complex for someone who has not understood the framework of balanced scorecard. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much. And there's something very, very important you talked about, whereby organizations for a very long time have been doing these annual reviews. And wait until December, and that's when people ask Oscar, what exactly have you been doing? Or why didn't you achieve this? So how do you now change, especially organizations that have done this for the last 40, 30 years, and change it from annual to continuous performance management approach, whereby you can continuously look at my progress and maybe advise me as I fall short on something?
Okay. First of all, I think I want to charge HR leaders. Many HR leaders don't sit at the decision-making table. And I don't know whether that is intentional. They say if you're not at the decision-making table, you are on the menu. And if you're on the menu, you'll be eaten, yeah? We need to we need to repackage ourselves as HR leaders such that we are able to get into that boardroom and sell conversations such as the ones we are having today. But you can only do that if you have data. Data. Without data, you're just an opinion in that boardroom. Do a productivity mapping, yeah? Do a mapping on goal attainment, yeah? For the past 5 years, these are the goals we've been having. No one has been achieving them. Clearly, this is not working. Then do a mapping on talent and retention. For the first 5 years, we've been losing very talented staff. Because during appraisal, they are told very nasty things, things they should have been told in January. They're being told in June. You did this in January. The guy is like, what? What do you mean? I can't even remember. So as HR leaders, I will put the back on HR leaders. Can we get into those boardrooms and start leading those conversations using data? Look for these Oscar people with their seamless HR. Tell them, how can I extract data that I'll take to the boardroom so that I stop being on the menu and be on the decision-making table?
Okay, I like that. Let's not be on the menu. And just a follow-up to that, there is Naomi Njoki asking, she's saying there's a high turnover at the place that she works, and as she's the HR, she feels a time away, but she doesn't know how to assist. And saying that sometimes the employer knows the staff is leaving because of finances, but they're adamant not to make any changes. So she's asking you for advice. So this is one HR to another HR. Please advise her.
Okay, my dear Njoki, let me ask you, have you done any analysis to establish why these people are going? Where are they going? What is the age group of the people who are going? Are they being poached, or are they, actively seeking for jobs and resigning? Then, you need to come up with some predictive analytics that, you're not caught off guard anymore. You're able to predict this John, he is going to leave by June, because you can already tell that this age group, this is what they want, this is what they are looking for, this is what they are, they are aiming for. So you need to incorporate predictive analytics in your talent attraction and retention processes. But also, that mood meter I was telling you, those pulse surveys, small surveys. Staff have things they are carrying in their heart. They just wish they can tell them to someone. Do them frequently. Yes, just do them frequently. For us, we had to do them every month at some point. You'll start to see a trend of issues that keep coming up. Oh, we are not happy with the tea in this office. It's cold in this office. It's so cold. No one cares. The window broke 2 months ago. You start to realize people live over very small things that you could fix in just a minute, in just a heartbeat. Very small things. Yeah. So I would urge you to start with the pulse surveys first. Start with those. Get feedback from staff. Do it maybe for a trend of over 6 months. What's your mood? What can we do to make you feel better? You will see a trend. Then now you'll be able to start doing your predictive analytics, so you can predict the caliber of staff who are likely to move and where are they going.
Okay, and as you mentioned that, Edwin this year says great presentation, and how do you entice Gen Z who have very many demands? So at what point do you say that these demands are too much? Because somebody wants coffee, maybe somebody else wants mocha, somebody else wants everything. So as HR, when do you say that, hey guys, this is too much? Maybe this is what you can do, but you guys want so much.
It's funny. A few years ago, I was telling my bosses here, Gen Z is coming, and they were like, this Gen Z, who are they? And then we had those Gen Z demonstrations, and saying that, hey, this Gen Z are serious. Now all of a sudden it's like, how can we retain Gen Z? You see, first things first, proactively educate, first of all, your leadership on the different generations. If you're us, we are multi-generational here. There's a time we even had baby boomers, we have Gen X, then we have Gen Y, Gen Z. I had to frequently educate our leaders on the character of each generation and what they like. And now Gen Z are very money-minded. That is one thing. Financial reward, they are big on it. Gen Y, the reward to them was a whole other thing. Gen X, but Gen Z, it's about money. It's about the other thing, they want to be involved in conversation. Yeah. So we had to change up some things. Simple things like you're setting up Christmas committee. Put Gen Z in there. Sit back for once. Let them say, well, we wanted, like last year, one Gen Z said, we want in the setup, we want hay. Want hay so that people can sit on the hay as they're drinking. We're like, what? Have your hay. Like, we don't even, you need to listen to them. They have ideas. They just need an avenue for you to speak to them, change up how you interact with them, change up the things you offer, the teas and, our tea machine, we had to change up the options we give. You're saying as those smokers and, you had to change up those Fridays we give out yogurt, guys, yogurt, they're like, oh, my yogurt is here. We give out fruits. If it's Valentine's, we give roses and queen cakes. Those things make Gen Z happy, interestingly. They're like, our workplace is fun. At least we get to have queen cakes for and whatever for Valentine's. So it's not as complex as it has been made to look. They just want a voice. That's it. Yeah, that's it. And of course, they want money, but you have to keep reminding them, we're not just giving you money here for free. You have to mentor them to understand that reward is actually earned. Yeah.
Okay, thank you for that. I, for once, as a millennial, would wish there were more than even one Gen Z planning the Christmas party, because
my God, you should put them in.
I also want to sit on there and have a drink. So I don't trust my fellow millennials to actually plan parties. So
no, put them. They'll bring even the latest DJ. You just sit there in the tent watching them dance away and what. But I mean, it's their thing.
Okay, cool. I was even wondering why there was no question about me, but I've seen one from Dominic Otieno. Hi, I have seen a general demo of seamless HR software. Shall we have a demo here on the performance management module, particularly on the area of productivity measures? So with that, we'll just switch a bit, then we'll come back to Christine, just to take the team in terms of what seamless HR can do, in terms of exactly what we're talking about today. So how we can leverage on technology to actually now ensure that when it comes to our workplaces, we are able to actually measure not only performance in our organization, but as well as the potential that people have in the organization. Okay. So seamless HR basically has the ability to empower your people. So seamless HR is a software, and that's what you call an end-to-end HR system. End-to-end means that you can automate the entire employee journey from recruitment all the way to exit. But the beauty about our software is that we can actually let you cherry pick the modules that you want to automate in your business. For example, if one of your biggest pain points is performance management, you can actually buy performance as a standalone module and be able to actually run it in your organization. And it's quite diverse, very rich in features, with the ability now to also measure OKRs and balance scorecard frameworks as well. So you'll be able to set this up, and you can even choose and say, for this kind of stuff, you're going to go with OKRs, and for this other kind of stuff, you're going to go to with a balanced scorecard framework as well. Then we're able to track the appraisal end to end, meaning that we don't have to wait until the end of the year. We can even have monthly, weekly, or even quarterly appraisals, depending on the nature of the job that somebody is doing in the organization. And that's what we call performance management with a purpose. We are able to align our performance with core values, utilizing the ability to do a 360-degree appraisal, integrating even the company core values in the appraisal process, and ensuring that performance management does not change anything that has to do with the organization culture, but actually enhancing it as you go along. And all this is about empowering your people, because you can actually have performance management done by employees from the comfort of even their mobile devices, because the system comes with the employee self-service. So that means that each and every employee has their own portal, and they can actually go to the portal and be able to actually track their performance, and you don't have to wait until the end of the year. So by the end of 1 month, you're able to see how you're scoring in relation to your target, and where you need to improve, you can always improve as well. And all this is about making data-driven decisions. So there's no issues about recency errors, there is no bias. You let the system actually tell you when it comes to performance, when it comes to potential, Oscar is scoring at 73%, not based on what happened last week, but a continuous improvement since January and when you started. Other features that come with our software is basically the ability to even set an appraisal review committee, the ability to create customizable workflows, and the ability to experience customizable evaluations. So from one manager to the next, people might have different opinions, and you can actually integrate that onto the software. And lastly, as I come to an end, the ability to have a survey module, because as you do performance management, you want to get feedback from your own employees. And this is where the Gen Z will actually tell you, hi, Oscar, some of these things that you're doing are actually outdated. Why don't you incorporate these kind of things? Because things are changing and you can actually want to make it better as well. Of course, competencies, tracking core competencies, cross-functional competencies, and even technical competencies. So at the end of the day, you're able to actually say, does Tom actually have the competencies to be in finance? Does Mary have competencies to be in procurement? And if they don't, how can you actually improve them? Because the software is not just about tracking, but also realizing your potential and making you better as well. So with that, I just want to point out that Seamless HR has done this for quite a number of companies across Africa, and we are always willing to come to your organization and help you automate these processes as well. So with that, I'll just go back to the Q&A session just to see if I may not have left anyone out, and because we have to maximize Christine's time here, because she's very hard to find as well. Okay, so I have one from Maureen Moshiri. Christine, would you be able to facilitate a session on BSC and especially on cascading goals along the 4 perspectives to a level where even the employees can easily rate themselves as it's clear whether they met their target or not?
To facilitate a session on balanced scorecard.
Yes, so
I don't mind. I'm familiar with the process, and yeah, it's something that I'm able to facilitate, whether in this forum or any other forum that is doable. It's something that is practical. Yes.
Okay. As we come to more questions, someone is asking where should the policy documents of the organization be kept? Because most of the employees are not aware of contents of these documents. Because we keep talking about all these things, policies, balance scorecard. Where should they be kept to have employees easily access them as well?
Certainly not in the drawer of the HR. Yeah. So what I recommend, and even when I used to be in consulting and used to visit organizations, we would design for you the HR policy manual, but we'd ask you to design a staff handbook. We would also design a staff handbook, which is a summarized version of that policy and procedure manual. And of course, now that we are digital savvy, it's supposed to be put on, a folder that is accessible to all staff for reference purposes. And every once in a while, blast out reminders on some of the key policies. Guys, just a reminder, and that's where you incorporate your Gen Z to do a nice poster for you. Reminder, guys, remember this is our policy on this, and this, so that it becomes a live document. But I don't know if your company has some intranet or some place where you're able to load some of those documents, but the whole document is accessible, but a staff handbook is better, which is like a little summarized book of the entire policy and procedure manual for reference purposes, quick reference and checking.
Okay, very, very good. But someone asks, what if the organization you're in is toxic? So what do you do? How do you change the culture? And you're already in an organization that is very toxic, and you don't know who the toxic person is. So how do all these things work within a toxic environment?
Oh my God, toxic work environments are rampant. They are everywhere. But I always say workplace culture is not necessarily the responsibility of the HR only, because in many organizations, the HR is told, change our workplace culture. It starts with you, all of you, from the last person standing. And, town hall meetings in the organizations really work. Just create a forum where people sit every month in a town hall and they talk and openly. Those we listen, but we don't judge. That the thing that was trending. Like, honestly, town hall meetings work. People sit down, share their experiences, and over time, you begin to see some change. There are small things you can also come up with, small policies or changes. Like in one organization, the toxic trait was communication. People don't communicate. No one will respond to your emails. You send email, people look at you like you're. So during the town hall, they came up with an internal policy that if your email is not responded to in this duration of time, escalate to the person's supervisor. If I send an email to Oscar and he doesn't respond within 24 hours, then it's my right to escalate it to his boss. So he should not start saying, "Oh, you're toxic. You're trying to make me look bad." So it's those small things. There is no rocket science to this thing. Sit down, have town hall meetings, agree internally. Going forward, this is what we need to change, and this is how we are going to change it. Then write it down. When words are written, they become alive and they become actionable. Yeah.
Okay. Just two more questions. Someone is asking, just like today, from your talk, we're all pumped up, we're all happy. We'll all go back to organizations and we'll be able to implement some of this you're talking. But how do we sustain it? How do we ensure that it doesn't fade over time? So that was from Arthur Musingizi. Thank you very much. So how do we ensure that this culture of continuous improvement remains sustainable and does not fade over time?
What I always tell leaders, whether you're a HR leader or whatever leader, you're also accountable to yourself. So you want to see continuous performance improvement. You as a person also set goals for yourself that you will every month monitor and follow up that supervisors have checked in with their staff, that productivity reports have been monitored, have been checked, even be the one to ask questions and interrogate. Someone has dumped, like our timesheet, someone can dump time there, personal and occupied time. You go and have a conversation with the person. What were you doing that you were so unoccupied? They say, "Oh, I was not allocated work." Then you'll be able to fix it. So when you monthly schedule accountability time for yourself, like between 1st and 5th, is a follow-up for every department to see how monitoring is going on, to check in on people. They get so used to it that before you even land there, they've already made sure they have complied, and they'll now tell you, "Hey, you know what I observed? You know what, I checked in on so and so. I noticed he's down this month." So it becomes continuous, and now they even become more proactive in giving you information. So don't give up, don't feel discouraged. I'm a trained teacher, by the way. That's why I talk like a teacher. Don't feel discouraged. Don't feel like you're unable to do this. Just start doing it. Push yourself to do it.
Okay, and thank you, and thank you for teaching us today. Another question: how do you conduct this mood analysis? Is there a mood czar in the office? Is there a head of mood, good mood in the office? How do you ensure that? What are the tools that you use in your organization to ensure that? And specifically, this is for the organization you've worked at. Who was actually conducting that mood tests to ensure that at the end of the day, you're having a culture of people being happy to actually come to work?
So when we started these mood meters, we realized if the mood meter comes from HR, from regional HR, hey, people will be like, "Hey, should I say? Should I not say?" So I got a young Gen Z in my department, and I told her, "I'm giving you, look for," she said, "We have to make it anonymous." And then she made it so colorful and catchy. Like when you open it, you just see mood, happy, this and this. And then I think she used monkey survey. Yeah, that's the one that she used. Then she blasted it out. And they felt they can relate to her. They opened up to her very quickly. "I'm happy, I'm not happy. Here we are missing lunch because we are working late." So you can assign a champion if you have a big HR team, or you can create a committee internally that is called the mood committee or something, where people come together and they are able to discuss things and blast out things and make people feel excited. There's no standard mood. I'm in an audit firm, like right now we're in the peak season, the mood is heavy, the mood changes and shifts. So you also need to time when to send out those mood meters. You don't send it out at the peak when they're having deadlines and they can't breathe. You send it after they have submitted things and they're relaxed. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So I, for one, Christine, would want to be in an organization where you are my HR.
Oh, thank you.
Through such a nice place whereby I'd want to be part of your team. And with
Oh,
it,
great.
I really, really want to thank you. We've really, really benefited as employees, as members of teams, and even for the HR leaders that are here. I'm sure they're going to take a lot of information back to the organization to ensure that we are having inclusive organizations, and performance management can be seen as a model of improvement rather than a model of punishment. So thank you very much, Christine, for your time. We really thank you. For those guys who are asking if there will be a demo, Seamless HR is available to actually contact you, and there's a poll that will pop up on your screen. And if you do want to be contacted for us to give you a demo, we are very willing to do that. Asanteni sana, and thank you for joining the webinar. Have a lovely day ahead. So please answer on the poll. You can always book a demo as well at seamlesshr.com, and we are very, very eager to be able to do the demo for you. We also have a refer and earn program whereby if you're a HR leader and you come across organizations that would be looking for HR software, you can always go to the website seamlesshr.com, refer and earn, whereby you're able to refer the business and you can earn up to a maximum of $10,000, which is very good. Your work is just to pinpoint where they're not doing it the right way, and I'll come in, take them through the program, and you can always cash that check. Asanteni sana.
I'm Martin. I work as the head of people at Turaco. We are a business in the insurance industry. More specifically, we work on inclusive insurance, providing insurance to the mass market. Insurance is a product that for very long has been specific to only a small portion of customers. We want to make it accessible to everyone. To do that, we make sure that it's affordable, it's simple, it's transparent. We started in Kenya, Uganda, and now we're in Nigeria as well. We see ourselves as a Pan-African business, and so we're going to grow into many other African markets. For that reason, HR is a big part of thinking about how Turaco will be successful. People working at Turaco are the center of our success, and tools that make it easy, make it seamless to work are what we would want to use. Seamless HR came in to solve some of those problems for me. It's a combination of two things for me. The fact that I could put in core HR services all in one place, HRIS, performance management, payroll. In addition to that, access to multiple countries in Africa. This meant that I did not have to think about going to each market and finding a tool in those markets and having to deal with too many softwares or too many systems. This has helped me streamline things and have one process across all our countries, make it so easy for everyone in all countries that we operate to do the HR stuff online, to do performance management online, to do payroll online as well. Earlier on, for us, HRIS was going to be positioned across multiple tools. That was going to be a problem because having to look at multiple tools to access people's information is not easy. it's not simple. In addition to that, my team did their performance management across multiple spreadsheets, across multiple documents, putting all that together in one system online that is verifiable, has made it very easy to manage performance, has made it very easy to keep track of information. Thank you, Seamless HR, for making my people operations much simpler.